guys, what are we going to look at this morning? Well, since I have been forced to carry this incredible piece of crap, which today's its last day. It's unsafe now. It's got all kinds of play and stuff. Just an update. We are carrying and going to do the full review because I've been carrying it. The Vosteed Nightshade, and this is a lot of fun. So guys, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it from above, and we're not going to do it here. So you guys know what time it is. Turn down the volume because here comes a little bit of music. Let's take a look at this because of all the knives Jared sent me in this last box, this was the one I was most excited to see. This is the Vosteed Nightshade. Very interesting, unique looking knife. It feels interesting and unique in hand, but I'm gonna tell you, I really fell in love with this knife, not just for its aesthetics, but it is a freaking workhorse once you get used to it. So we're gonna go through and get some specs. We're gonna get some weights and things like that. But I wanna remind you guys, I now have an affiliate link with Blade HQ. So any of these knives you guys are looking for, if you can't find them through any of my other affiliates, I would say go first to my Blade HQ affiliate link and then see if you can find them there. So yeah, just another little way to support the channel. So this thing is gorgeous, downright gorgeous. Just get a quick look at it, and then we're going to go through the specs, and then we'll take a good close look at it. So what are we looking at here? We are looking at a flipper overall length of 7.48 inches with a 3.26 inch flat ground M390 blade in satin. Now, this one has got a couple of little things with it. Now, there are two different versions of this. There is a black G10 and brass, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because your blade finish is going to be different. And you also have got a difference in finish. So this is the satin, copper, and micarta. The brass G10 version, also in black G10, comes with a stonewash blade. So the two different knives have two different finishes. The price point is the same on them, however. So you are looking at blade stock thickness. I didn't see a blade stock thickness listed, so we've got the calipers. Give me a second to get them set up, and we'll measure the blade stock thickness and behind the edge thickness. All right, guys, let's take a quick look at this on this blade stock thickness. Now, I didn't find a blade stock thickness listed, but it looks like it's 0.12, which sounds about right. 0.12 is a pretty standard blade stock thickness. Let's look at behind the edge. I don't think this is going to come in super thin behind the edge, but it does cut really well. Let me get right up on this as best of possible. Right behind the edge, you're looking at 0.0245-ish. 0.025 right behind the edge. So there's your blade stock thickness and your behind the edge thickness. Let's get these calipers out of the way. All right, let's look at the rest of the specs. So on handle length, you're looking at a 4.22 inch handle that's done in two different versions. Like I said, you have a copper and micarta version that has the satin finish, and a brass and black G10 version, which has got a stonewash finish. I like this micarta. This is done really well. It's nice and polished, and it came out really well. This is running on caged bearings, on stainless steel liners with a tie deep carry pocket clip. And for this final spec, let's go ahead and look at the weight, which they have listed as 118 grams or 4.16 ounces. So like I said, let's take a look at it and see what they've got here. Let's do grams first, since this one has grams listed. They have it listed as 118 grams. So right there, I got 110. Let's make sure my scale is zeroed. Yep, 110 grams. Like I said, I can't say that this is the most accurate scale. So in ounces, you are looking at 3 7/8 ounces. So let's go ahead and get the scale out of the way and talk about the actual knife itself. All right, so let's get into this. When I saw this on Jared's channel the first time, I was pretty impressed. I like the look of it. This is done in I saved this for last. This is done in a fusion kukri. They call it a Shilin cutter. So, I mean, it's a really unique blade. It looks a lot like the leaf style blades like you'd see on some of your balisongs, your Filipino inspired knives. And it gives it a really unique overall shape. It's very, sorry guys, I still have some bad allergies. It's really oval shaped, almond shaped. And when you open it up, you have this deep curvature that at first is striking and it looks great, and all you can think is, I really want to try this out, and then it leads to some difficulty. So I'm going to give you there's only a couple little negative things, and then we'll talk about the good things. Typically, I'll talk about the good things first, but this time we're going to talk about a couple negatives. One, the pocket clip is very deep carry. If that's your style, that, in my opinion, is too deep for my choice. It is a very deep carry pocket clip. It doesn't leave you a lot to grab a hold of. That's not a real negative thing. It is a very comfortable clip. But the other one is, while that angle and that shape of that knife is very striking, it's got a learning curve. I was really kind of going at it the way I would go with a regular knife when I'd be doing some cutting and cutting cardboard and things. And what that leads to is you're going like this, and you get up into here, and you get up into that choil, and you really are having a hard time getting it to cut. You have to address the way you're cutting and using this part of the blade, because you're actually going to wind up in this part of the blade a lot. So hang on just a second, guys. I got some background noise I got to address. The wife was running the garbage disposal and shit. So what I was saying is you have to make sure that you are addressing your cut the right way. It cuts incredibly well if you get used to it and you start your cut in the right position. That little bit of an angle, it almost feels natural to want to cut down in, and then you're just putting that edge into it instead of putting the actual edge. You can see where I've been cutting. That's where you want to address your cut, is further down in and then get back on it. And once you figure that out and you can get past that initial learning curve of how to address the cut with this knife, it's amazing. So the M390 on this is done really well. I have not had to sharpen this or touch it up, except maybe a little touch up on a strop. I didn't even have to put it on a ceramic rod, and I cut up a lot of cardboard with this. It cuts really well. It is very comfortable. Like I said, once you get used to it and you're doing the cutting properly. If you want to do a push cut, this works really well for pushing down, as long as you, like I said, you can see where I started the downward cuts. Like, you're going to start up near the front and work your way into that round part of that blade. It cuts really, really well. I did do because they have it listed on their website for kitchen tasks, because I don't know if you guys know this, Vosteed was a kitchen knife company to begin with. So I did do some kitchen tasks with this. It does pretty good, even though it's not super thick behind the edge. It's nice. It transitions well. So that's the difference, is because it is full flat ground all the way from the spine down. It transitions nice and smoothly from the edge. And so you don't have, like you'd see on some other knives where it goes abruptly, it starts to thicken up. Because this is nice and broad and it's ground really consistent, it's much better and apt to be able to do kitchen tasks than some of the other knives. Action on this, just about perfect. It is drop shut. There is no friction in this. This one and the Bellamy, which is currently, well, it was in my pocket a few minutes ago. They are both just drop shut guillotine style. They are super smooth. These would be in the running with some of the smoother knives I've had come in this year, even almost up there with the Kubi, that Kubi Momentum, the Kubi 344, that was the smoothest knife in my knife case. The action on it is just so buttery smooth. And then you have that nice pop. The liners and everything on this are done really, really well. There's no inconsistencies where these liners marry up. They're ground to match, like a match fit with the scales. The scales are done incredibly well. This is a titanium pocket clip, so if you want to anodize it, you can get a little pop of color. But there is an aesthetic thing. At first, this kind of bothered me. It doesn't bother me now so much, except aesthetically. The two scales are so different that it's like, I don't mind. I like a scalloped out area where you can access the lock bar or the liner really well. I like it, but I like it to be a little more symmetrical. But once you get past just the fact it's only an aesthetic thing, there is no negative in hand. You can't really feel that difference. And like I said, it is so comfortable in hand, and they did such a good job on fit and finish with this knife. Look at that micarta. It is just gorgeous. Nice clean liners. They did a little bit of weight reduction inside. Nice, cleanly milled, fairly polished standoffs. And then right back into your other scales. The detent on it is just about perfect. Now, I will say that this does favor, ever so slightly, favor the lock scale. It's not a matter of a loose pivot or anything. You can probably fix it. You could probably walk that pivot out and then adjust your body screws a little bit just to take that little bit of extra out. But it's not in any danger of rubbing, and that's just one of those little picky any things. But ever so slightly, like maybe just a tiny bit to the lock scale. But I mean, if that's the only things that you've really got to complain about, you don't have anything to complain about. Now, I will say, I don't know if I would carry this a lot, because the only thing that I do have to say, as far as it's not necessarily a negative, because a lot of people only carry one knife. This is kind of a pocket hog, which isn't a bad thing. You know, it's because I carry multiple things at once, because I'm reviewing multiple knives and things like that. And so I carry multiple knives throughout the day. This just kind of feels like it takes up a lot of space in the pocket. But if you have it back towards the inseam, it carries really well and it won't walk. This pocket clip, last thing, this pocket clip is just about the perfect tension for any pants. And the fact that it is deep carry, even though I'm not such a fan of it, it puts it down in so you have more friction because it goes so far down in and you've got so much material and stuff. It's right up against the seam and it's just that, and it doesn't walk across your pocket. Like if you put this against the inseam, it stays against the inseam. If you put it towards the front of your pocket, towards the zipper, it stays right there. So, I mean, it's a pretty good all-around knife. I can't say that it's my favorite knife that's come in this year. I was really excited to see it. I still like it, but it's not going to be something that is going to be my favorite. But I mean, if you wanted to spend the money on it at $129 on their website, Vosteed Knives have it listed for, it would not be a bad purchase. And like I said, M390, good heat treat. Like I've cut a lot with it, so it's holding up pretty well. The edge hasn't deformed. I think I may have had to do it on a ceramic rod once. Yeah, you can kind of see. I touched it up on a ceramic rod once, I guess. So it has performed really well, cleans up nice and easy. And you've got that beautiful copper and micarta, which is going to patina. They both are going to patina together and you're going to have a really good look. So there you go, guys. The Vosteed Nightshade. I'm really kind of pleasantly happy with how this knife carried and everything. It does have a lanyard hole. I meant to say that. It has if you're a guy that's into a lanyard hole, it does have a lanyard hole, but it is not like a shielded lanyard hole. It's not inside a backspace or anything. So you run the risk of, if your lanyard is a little loose, you might get it into the blade and cut your lanyard. So don't know if I'd put an expensive bead on a lanyard for this knife. Man, that feels so good right there. The grip on it is so tactile. All right, guys, that's it. Let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. There you go, guys. Not much on this to say that's negative. This Vosteed Nightshade, really fun to carry, really good. It was a nice palate cleanser to throw this in my pocket and carry it an extra couple days while I was carrying that garbage Frost Cutlery Corner Network knife, which if you paid $10 for those, you paid $9 too much. So yeah, guys, not much to say. Like I said, it carries a little deeper than I like, so it's like pulling it up out of your pocket's not as comfortable, and it takes a little bit to get used to the angle and edge of angle of approach with that curved edge. So that's about it, guys. Guys, if you like the content, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the content, give it a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I can't change it if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you hit the bell icon, you'll get notified of everything I put up. I put up 2 videos a day, sometimes a video and a live, but typically you have 2 pieces of content every Monday through Friday. And, if you don't have notifications turned on your device, you got to make sure you got that as well. So other ways you can support the channel, I'm going to go ahead and say affiliate links first this time because I'm proud to announce I do now have a Blade HQ affiliate link. I mentioned it at the very beginning, and I'm going to mention it now. Anything you purchase there, I get a portion of it at checkout. We're all going to buy knives. You may as well buy knives and support the channel. So other ways you can do it, I have a tier-based membership down below in the membership tab in the description. It gets you in on tier-based benefits. Pick the tier that suits you best, but everyone saves $5 off my sharpening service, and everyone gets access to the Gilded service. But if you join the premium membership, you get access to a sharpening tutorial series I've built for those guys. And the last way is I do have the merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. Anything you purchase on Ember Shirt Co, I can save you 10% at checkout with my coupon code CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word, saves you 10% at checkout. And if you buy my merchandise and send me pictures of you wearing it, I will put them in a video. Guys, that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.